behalf of our class, we would like to welcome you to Victor Fields Elementary. Our class is currently interviewing former students of Miss Della Croce Myers in honor of her memorable life here as a teacher at Fields Elementary. We are excited to have you here today to share some of her memories and impact she has had in your life.
Okay, well, I'm a writer and a parent educator. So I started writing, my articles are always about family, and they come out in the Monitor every week, and it's a weekly column. And besides the Monitor and writing, I write for other magazines. I do what is called freelance. So if I find like let's say now, you know what blogs are on the internet, they have a lot of magazines. Well, I also send out my articles on the internet and get it published in different blogs and different venues. And in the Monitor, I've been writing for 19 years. And my favorite subject to write about is family and children, and mostly to help parents have a better relationship with their kids. And so I also do parenting classes. And I go to schools and I give workshops in schools. And I also do sessions in my office called parent coaching, where a parent will have some concerns about, something that's going on with their child, and then they'll come to my office and we'll work on different ideas to see how they can, how they can improve their relationship. Well, I attended UTPA, but I didn't graduate from college. I didn't finish. I wish I had, but I got married. But having said that, I never stopped learning. What I did was I focused on the things that I liked. So I took writing courses and just kept on writing, and I did parent certifications, and I just have always just continued my education, just never got a college degree.
What was your most memorable event that occurred here at Victor Fields Elementary?
I have so many memories of Victor Fields. I attended Victor Fields first grade through fifth grade. And it was a time in my life when I had come from Cuba. I'm Cuban. And there was a lot of changes in my life. So it was, the whole time I was at Victor Fields, it was a process. I was learning to assimilate, learning what it was like to be in the United States. My parents had no idea what a PTA meeting was. That I remember I wanted to be in Brownies, and they were like, you can't be in Brownies, that's probably some kind of government organization, because in Cuba everything has to do with the government and communism.
It's run by dictators.
It's run by dictators. And so it was a time in my life when I was very, just learning how everything worked. And it was also in the 60s. So my first language was Spanish. And so in the 60s was just when they were beginning to realize that they needed some kind of program for children that were immigrants that didn't speak, that English wasn't the first language. So those first few years in Victor Fields were really a struggle for me. I was struggling through school and just, barely getting by and having a really hard time with my school.
We remember reading your article, and it said 43 years ago, she said she cut out all your columns that were in the Monitor.
That's right. Mrs. Della Croce would save all my columns. And when I remember seeing Mrs. Della Croce walking down the hall. Victor Fields used to be one long strip, right? And it had one hallway in the middle. And so I remember being in first and second and third grade and seeing this beautiful lady, because she was such an elegant lady, so poised, walking down the hall. And so I never imagined that someday I would be in her class. So when I walked into her fifth grade class, I was so excited that she was my teacher. So Mrs. Della Croce immediately realized that there was something going on with me. I was behind. I was behind in writing. I was behind in reading. My math skills were not good. And the problem was that half of the time I didn't understand my teachers. But no one had really taken the time to sit me down and say, what is going on here, But Mrs. Della Croce did. So she sat me down and she asked me where I was from, and she asked me to bring my parents to the school, and so she talked to my mom. She started tutoring me after school, and giving me books to read, reading with me. She also helped me get a tutor at home that would go help me at school, for my schoolwork. And she just started giving me attention that I had never received before. And that changed everything for me. It changed my whole life because all of a sudden I started getting it. Before then, teachers would consider me a child that was uncooperative, that didn't want to participate in school, and that's not at all how I am. I wasn't that way. I just did not understand or felt confident enough to share my ideas and talk because I didn't understand half of the time what was going on. Well, it's funny because what I thought was the thing that I would never do, which is write, because that was my worst subject.
And English.
English, writing, Spanish, writing it, spelling words, it was like that was the subject that I least liked. I end up doing that as an adult. I end up writing and sharing my ideas. But I think what inspired me and what the change that Mrs. Della Croce had on me was that she always told me I had a lot of potential. She gave me a lot of confidence. And I remember one time she belonged to the Pan American Round Table. And they do special events on different countries. And so when they did Cuba, she convinced me to go and speak in front of all these people. And I was terrified. I kept telling her, no, I'm not going to do that. I can't do it. And she was, yes, you can. You can do it. I know you can. And so she encouraged me.
And you ended it by playing the piano.
I did. I ended it by playing the piano, and I just thought I could never do that. So after I accomplished that, it was, wow, I can do this. I can get in front of people and talk. And I could, and I played the piano. And so those were the things that Mrs. Della Croce did that started encouraging me. She just encouraged me to better myself and to have more confidence in myself.
If you could describe Miss Della Croce in one word, what would it be and why?
I would say she was a very loving teacher. Very, she was loving. She was sweet. Now she was firm. She wasn't a teacher that let you get away with not doing your work. But she was just very, very loving and caring. She was a very caring teacher. Lots of patience, a willingness to help each of her students and find out what each of her students needed, and that's something that a teacher that does that is amazing because most teachers, sometimes teachers just don't get that connection with their students, but Mrs. Della Croce did. Mrs. Della Croce was the kind of teacher that sometimes you only have one teacher like that in your whole life, and that was her for me. She was that one teacher that I will never forget, that she will always be somebody that I will think of. And whenever I used to run into her in the grocery store, we would talk about my life and what I was doing and my kids, and she would always tell me how proud I was, how proud she was of me, and she was just very, very special, very special. Most important thing is that you all can accomplish whatever you want. There's no limit to what any of you can accomplish. It takes hard work. It takes determination, but you can do it. And you live in the most amazing country where it's filled with opportunities. And sometimes, because you live in this country, so many Americans take it for granted. They don't realize what they have. And so, that would be my advice. My advice is take advantage of all the possibilities that there are out there and live your dream, whatever your dream is. You can do it. You can do it. You have to work hard, but you can do it. You can accomplish anything.
That teacher that you said that you only get it one time in your life. Mm-hmm. That one teacher that every day you're always like, yay, it's school. Right. But yet all the other years you're like, oh, it's school.
Right.
That one teacher for me was my first grade teacher, Miss Ganchola. And
that was her last year of teaching because she had heart problems.
Oh.
And for my 3rd grade talent show, she came, and I was just like, oh my God.
Right.
I couldn't believe that she came, and she walked in right when I started to do the performance, and I just wanted to run over there and cry.
Yeah, that meant a lot to you. Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you what happened with Mrs. Della Croce. I had her my 5th grade year, and so all year long I have this amazing teacher, right? That just changes. It changes me. All of a sudden, school is fun. I want to come, like you say, I want to come to school. I want to do better for her. Well, after 5th grade, my family moved, and so I wasn't in the Victor Field School District anymore, and we ended up moving to North McAllen, and
You go to Milam.
And I'm going to Milam. So here I am, super nervous about going to Milam. I don't know who my teacher's going to be, and I walk into my classroom.
And there she is.
And there she is. And there's Mrs. Della Croce. So I had her another year. So it was life-changing for me. After 6th grade, everything changed. Everything changed for me. It just opened up doors, and she just changed everything. My attitude. I just became a different person because of her. And I'm so grateful for that. And something else that I would tell you guys is that whenever you have a special teacher like that in your life, you let them know. You let them know what they mean to you. Because sometimes we don't do that because we're embarrassed or we're shy or we don't, or we just don't take the time to do it, but you need to do it. And every opportunity I had, I wrote about her. Every time I saw her, I told her. Towards the end of her life when she was ill, I went to visit her at the nursing home one time, and I just, I held her hand, and I told her how much she meant to me because she really, really changed my life. Thank you. She really did. She changed my life. And so you guys, whenever you have the opportunity to tell your teacher, your mom, your dad, your grandmother, your aunt, anybody who does something special for you, you be sure that you tell them what they mean to you, because it's very important to do that.
Thank you so very much for answering all of our questions today. We really appreciate your time, and Miss Della Croce really sounds like an amazing teacher to have here at Victor Field Elementary.
Thank you. Thank you for the interview. I really enjoyed it.
It's kind of funny because how you were a writer, we wrote our own books.
You guys wrote a book?
Yeah, we all have our own hardcover books.
Wow! Diary of a Turtle, Life of a Snake, How cool is that? Did you do it for English?
No, for writing.
For writing? This is amazing. Wow. And everybody in the classroom did it?
Yes.
Very cool. Very cool. So this is Break a Leg. This is a story about something that happened to you?
Not technically to me, but it's about a girl that's in gymnastics and she breaks her leg right before a big competition. Then she heals it and wins.
Oh, and whose is this one?
Hedda.
And what is this about?
Slender Man. A man who, it's technically based off a myth.
Okay.
His real name's Slender Man, and he's tall, he doesn't have a face, and sometimes when he gets angry, he grows these tentacles out his back.
Wow. And you just thought of this? Just came up with this story? Yeah? How cool. Very cool. Mysterious Man. Okay. And this one, Life of a Snake?
This one, really showed me, how my brothers and sisters are. But my mom told me she never really expected me because after my brother, she was like, I'm done.
So you were a surprise.
I was a surprise to everyone.
Uh-huh.
And there was this friend named Joseph who, when I was turning 9, he promised me, I'll go to your birthday, dude, I'll go to your birthday. And then he left. But then he came back a couple years later. And that's the page where I first meet him.
Oh, so it's a story about your friendship with Joseph?
Well, not necessarily, but it's more about, my sibling.
Your family. Okay. That's awesome. And this one?
How like everything with siblings and the competition.
Okay. Diary of a Turtle?
That's hers.
What is this about?
Well, since I like turtles, I wanted to write about an animal. So I just thought, well, why can't I just write about Diary of a Turtle?
Oh, so it's like, so you're writing it as if you're the turtle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great idea. Very nice. This is very cool. Congratulations, you guys. This is really nice. Thank you for sharing it.